but I got some Ritual Vision sunglasses.
Welcome to the Insiders Audio Noughts. Trouble in Paradise. Point 0.9 at 15-second forecast. Stiff offshore winds, 29-degree temperatures. Southern France. All is well. People frothing. Three boards in the car. Nothing turned up.
Oh, the forecast let you down.
Yeah.
Heavy. That is.
I mean, it could come in tomorrow, but I mean, I was getting numerous. What do you think? You know, I was doing the same thing, and then Paulie Evans sent me a message, and then he'd come past the cafe. We had a couple of coffees, and we're waiting for it to come in. And I was quite convinced it would because it had been on there for a good week, but nothing. I mean, what? There was waves. It was 2 foot, 2 foot, beautiful offshore, and a little bit bumpy, so not 15 seconds, and packed. So maybe tomorrow morning.
Yeah. See, I've had we spoke about it in a podcast recently where when you go away, the waves are good. And this weekend I went away to a landlocked, I went to Amsterdam and enjoyed some of the culture there.
Get on,
And
get on the bong into the strip clubs.
no strip clubs, no bong as such, but
Oh wow.
some
Next
level of
time.
some level of that culture. But the waves were really good Saturday and Sunday, and literally I came back Sunday night. It was too dark when I got back, and then it's like this whole week and the whole of next week looks like it's saying it's like 1 to 2 foot, but it's barely a foot. And
Get out your jogging shoes.
yeah, yeah, literally. Well, yeah, painful. But we have something at least to keep us entertained while it's flat. Um, we will speak about Margaret River, like mid-event, like kind of little like review. But I want to talk to you about this film because I'll be completely honest. You sent me a link to it on YouTube, and when I got the link through, I was like, I'm not going to watch it right now. Like, and I wasn't 100% whether it was for me because I didn't expect it to be what it was. And I've now watched it twice in the last 2 days, and I think it's one of the best things I've seen. So
Pretty sick, isn't it? It's so
yeah,
it's so kind of unshiny
yeah, I
for
was going to say
something
it's
for something
raw.
that is yeah, for something that is so shiny.
100%, I completely agree. So we're talking about a YouTube film. It's a minute over an hour, so it's 1 hour, 1 minute. It's called The Pipeline by Peter King. 100% go and watch it. It is one of the fastest hours that will go in your life.
Yeah, I was actually slightly disappointed that it finished, and we'll get to that later. But I kind of thought maybe he must be best mates with, well, he might be Koa Smith, who is incredible. But I was surprised Koa just about. Oh, he didn't get the last wave, but he got nearly got the last proper sequence, even though that was a sick one. I thought he was going to finish with, for some reason, because I guess I've been. I'm not going to say brainwashed, but you know, John is the benchmark for what we're seeing this generation. But that's only what we're seeing. Like he's been there for many, 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 many years. He's like there.
Mm.
So what a sick film.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was going to end with either Jamie or Kelly because when they go through the section about asking
Top
who's
five.
the top five at pipe, Jamie is in like Jamie's almost number one for everybody. It's either like Jamie or Jerry kind of thing. And
Hey,
but
surprisingly, Kelly wasn't mentioned that much.
not yeah, surprisingly wasn't mentioned as much. But then you did have people pulling out some really kind of cool mentions that aren't your like everyday mentions as well. Like even Jamie O'Brien, I think second he put Johnny Bo Gomes, which
Yeah, which was a gnarly man because Jamie kind of went for historically where most of the other kind of people then I think what they did was like current
yeah,
crop. what I thought was really sick, and I did like come to uh, uh, I had to analyze that in my head because I still think Kelly's top three. But you gotta imagine that he probably just didn't spend that much time there over all those 20, 30 years he was on tour. Like he was there, but not as much as not as present as JOB or what or John or the rest of the crew, the
Well,
hosts,
I
who
think you're
all lived
right.
there permanently.
I think you are right, and I think actually, weirdly, because you mentioned John, but I was going to say I think that like almost John's semi fallen into that because you even hear Nathan say, because this is filmed over the winter of 24, 25, and Nathan says it's the first year. I think he says something like, "Normally John's gone by now, so but he's here this year, so my wave count's dropped because he's taking more waves." Um, so even in a much shorter space of time, John's probably missed out on quite a good few swells because he's had to be in um, Australia for WSL obligations or wherever they may have been at that time of the year. Um, so yeah, like such a good film though. Like I honestly,
Surprising or unsurprisingly, Nathan gets a mention in nearly everyone's. But I guess
yeah,
it's unsurprising. It's just that I've been around a little bit longer than you, where you've kind of grown up, not even grown up, but well, kind of you grew into a man, a human, in the Nathan Florence generation. But before that, he was and his little brother, Ivan were kind of seen as like just shadows on John, but they really have over the last 10 years come to the forefront of obviously pipeline, but like world digital coverage, haven't they?
yeah, 100%. And you would say that almost like for me, as I've come to my like peak interest, it's almost like when Nathan's come to his fore like to the forefront of it all as well. Um, and you kind of think to yourself like you see some of the clips, some of the old school clips, and some of the people talk about other people, and you're like, you know, I wish I like Mason Ho's part about saying he wishes Andy was here. I was like, I didn't get to experience much of Andy, like, and I wish I did after seeing some of the clips of obviously that I have seen of him.
You see so much of Mason's influence when you watch Waves of his dad, like, his hand jives and everything like that,
Yeah,
which I'm more than positive that he absolutely did integrate into his armor, but it's his dad. So, like, you can't call someone out for copying their own dad, I don't
no,
reckon. And how good is he? Mason's just unreal. Like he's just an incredible tube rider. And I thought that was interesting too. Someone saying how like if he wants a wave, he'll just go. Like I think there's only five of them. Like you hear John say as well. Like Jamie will take any wave he
yeah,
wants, and people are just watching him.
yeah. I think it's funny when you hear Jamie laugh about the fact that he takes waves and paddles out on his soft top just to sit deeper and stuff like that. But um, I even think it was really cool when Mason was talking about the length of board he rides, and you can obviously see that there's some influence in that from, his dad and his uncle as well and stuff. But
Well, we
yeah,
shouldn't let too much out, but like we both said, like it is definitely, I think it's definitely the best film to come out, honestly, over last year because there's so many different people in it, and it's obviously such an iconic spot a couple of times, and I think that's good anyway. Like, Americans oversell everything. Uh, it is everything it is made out to be pipeline, and I do think there's a lot of other good waves in the world that you could consider more perfect or whatever. But I mean, everyone in the world's going there. Looks like it's pretty well the toughest wave in the world to surf, even if there wasn't people out.
yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. And also, what I love about it is the fact of like it's one of those waves where there are people who have literally it's made people's careers, and it's people have dedicated their whole life to that wave because of how horrible slash perfect it is all in one go. And as much as surfing's about like discovering new waves and traveling as well, I also love the fact that there's these people that from a certain date of a year to a certain date of a year, like that period of the year, it's like full on like dedication to that wave and that wave only. Um, and I think that's cool as well. Like it's there's not many waves that people do that for. So I think
I,
it's really, really cool.
I think you could really compare it really closely to Nazaré, our favorite wave in the world. That's
Mm,
set off so many careers. But like, would you be
Jesus.
would you be watching would you watch an hour's video about that?
No, absolutely
I
not.
am being sarcastic, but it is true. Like all these people that went
Yeah,
down to there with limited ability to be the ultimate charger. There are ultimate chargers there, don't get me wrong, but like you see the technical ability and what these guys are doing out there, it's just ridiculous.
it's kind of funny that, and the reason I kind of like smirked when you said that is very true about the fact that like on the basis of there's people that dedicate their time for a chunk purely to those two waves. And I didn't think we would ever say on this podcast is Pipeline equivalent to Nazare or like the same as Nazare. But what you actually say, funnily enough, is very, very true. And um,
Yeah, because now you got a full crew going there now. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you do have a full crew at Snapper, but it's just completely different because,
yeah,
Snapper's a performance wave and people are going to get the barrels and everything. Have you been watching Margaret River heats, Matty?
yes, I have intently. It day one was incredible. Day one, as the WSL have said about 7 trillion times, that was the most heats they've ever run in a day. 28 heats in one day. Um, Margaret River was about. I heard someone say, I think it was Kanoa said in an interview, it's so rippable and it's the most rippable 6 to 8 foot wave you can ever find, kind of thing. Like because of how, like, I guess the power that pushes back to them, the fact that they can really set it on rail, and
They are ripping now, man. It's
yeah,
just it's a place that seems to have taken so much progress over the last couple of years. Where now when you're watching it, it actually is really good to watch.
yeah. It's for me that first day was better than any single time of Bells. I thought some of the surfing was incredible. Like it's actually kind of hard to remember it all. Um, but
I know they can't, but I wish they'd go left more often. Did you watch?
yeah,
Well, you would have watched the second day, even the
yeah,
second
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Like I woke up early and I saw, I think Molly's heat and stuff. I saw like 20 good lefts going through, and I guess they got to go right. Well, I don't know if they have to.
She went left though.
I
Molly
just
went
think they
left.
didn't see him, especially the girls. They were sitting too close in. Like that was a bit annoying to me. I guess it was annoying to them. There were big sets coming through. So that was day two,
Molly
and
got
they kept
Molly got an
left.
8.5 going left. Yeah.
Yeah, no one else could seem to tee one up.
I think I saw Aaron Brooks go left on a couple, but they just went really fat really quickly. So I think
Yeah, I
like
guess that's
maybe it's an art of picking
you've got
them.
to be
But
lucky.
hey, talking about like can't talk about like I guess we can, but probably won't talk about absolutely everyone. But I watched a warm-up clip and then moved one of my fantasy servers, which was Caroline Marks, because she looks unbelievable going backside
Yeah,
in a wave like that.
yeah, I got her in my team. She's really good backside. I think she's best
Mental.
backside surfer on the female tour easily. She just needed to kind of step out of her skin a little bit, and I think she got a bit of charger in her. I think it kind of
Yeah,
like suits her. She's just got such a good back. She's just got really.
she's so good.
It's good to watch. Bang,
Yeah.
bang.
Was there any kind of so far any standouts to you or
It's hard to say. Honestly, I reckon Georgie Pitter.
Yeah,
Again, I
yeah.
think Georgie Peter's ripping. I think it suits him. I think he's got a fantastic front side calf, if not the best. Um, I wonder when just I kind of keep thinking at one stage Ethan's gonna wake up. He got
Ethan,
through his heats. He's
yeah.
got through his heats.
He had the worst. I was really worried about the Ethan heat because
Oh,
the
so
swell
was
the swell was fading, the waves were fading, and I was like, oh no! Like if you'd have put him in 2 hours before, absolute walk through. But I was glad that he made his heat because he, like I say, yeah, he should have been on early waves. I thought
Which heat? Which heat are we talking about? Against
the Miguel
Miggy or
Pupo,
against?
yeah, Miggy, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've got nothing against Miggy, but I'd love to see Ethan. I saw a couple of his warm-up waves, and I just think he can. Obviously, I think he
I
can
think
win
he's
it.
got he's actually got a really good side of the draw now, especially with some of the way the results have gone.
He's got
He
Italo who's
yeah,
getting the job done everywhere.
yeah.
Jesus,
Basically,
fast.
it's almost if he beats Satalo the way the other results go, he should have like a. I mean, it's just like the top side of the draw is a little bit more stacked. Like obviously, like Crosby had Griff already, and I mean, it would have been better or would have been more stacked, but and we could talk about it. But Jack Robinson lost again, so like that has made the top side maybe not look as dangerous on paper. Um, but yeah,
He
so
didn't look. He didn't look that good, Jack. He looked like I don't know if it was a timing thing. I'm not saying he still looked all right, but obviously he didn't get through.
yeah,
I don't. I personally wasn't like he got through as well. That impressed by Gabby either. I'm not saying I wasn't impressed, but I don't think he was like he's getting through heats, which is what you
yeah,
got to do.
yeah. I think
He can obviously.
I think he serves quite smart in those heats and made the heats.
The
For me,
conditions weren't good either, were they? They were haggis.
they were getting worse. I do think that your call on George Pitar is right up there, and I was really impressed with Crosby versus Griff. I thought Crosby looked
Oh yeah, he's ripping. Like
dangerous.
called him before bells. He could win the event if he gets out of his own head. Did you watch that? Did you
Yeah,
watch that, Kohler
I did.
brothers? Like, yeah, I don't think they listen to our podcast, so that's cool. But like at one stage for me, it's nearly enough. It's nearly enough. I can't watch the whole thing when they just mumbo jumbing about like finding themselves and this is part of the journey and all this sort of stuff. Okay, like if they want to, if that's how it's great. Put your heart on your sleeve, but like it's just it just feels like a Dumb and
It's,
Dumber film, part six. But we'll leave that at that.
well, it's funny because
They rip in the
um,
water. Full
they
stop. They
do.
rip in the water.
There's an ex-famous footballer who's now a pundit called Roy Keane, and he goes off on people who are saying like who say that thing like it's learning when you lose you learn and all of this, and he's like you're the top athletes in the world, you're not there to lose, like you shouldn't be learning from losing, you shouldn't be losing kind of thing. Like, and I know surfing's different to football and stuff, but when I watched it, I kind of did make me think of him, and obviously of like knowing that you weren't the biggest fan of it. Hey, so we should we have to mention
Oh,
Jacob, Jacob and Yago.
oh yeah. Well, what I think was unreal was there was so much kerfuffle about it and talk about it, but I still don't know what happened really afterwards.
Well, so I've listened to Ain't That Swell. I've done a podcast with a journo who was on the site,
And he
and
didn't say a single thing. I
no,
got annoyed by that. I had to stop. He didn't say anything, the guy.
yeah, the only thing he said um, that made me
I gave you any information.
gave me any information was the fact that apparently everybody there assumed that a interference had been given until Jacob got that wave that took the lead. Um, but let's
Yeah.
kind of in
In the
my
meantime,
opinion,
in the meantime, well, we differ on this. There you go. Sorry,
yeah.
cut
So
you off.
in my opinion, it's a 100% it's an interference. Um, Jacob, well, Yago had priority, like, and Jacob's in his way, like, and Yago done the interview afterwards on the WSL and said he could have carried on paddling and landed on top of Jacob or whatever, but he thought it was obvious enough and kind of common sense. And I think, sometimes sometimes the internet and sometimes us jump all over like the Brazilians for making a mountain out of a molehill or, dramatizing events and stuff. Yago didn't, and he almost got penalized for it. I don't know, but you don't think it's an interference, do you?
I think and which is why I think they voted against it, and they did and won, uh, uh, was that he knew he was there and turned and paddled straight into him. And Jacob, when you see it, wasn't looking at him. He wasn't looking at him. So yes, he was in front of him, but he should know he's in front of him. You can't just paddle over someone, even if you've got priority. If you just paddle straight into them,
We can.
and
That's my whole point is that's exactly what you can do. Is
well,
when you
apparently not, Matty, because he didn't
well
get the interference. And
when
I read a lot of people too who I thought it was also like online, all of us critics, there was a lot of people thinking it wasn't an interference either. So
yeah,
we all agreed, myself included, with the judges. So we were on the side of what actually happened. But I can fully understand your side too, because
yeah.
when I saw it after, I thought, oh yeah, of course they could give that as an interference, but they didn't.
From my perspective, it's the job of the person who's not got priority to make sure they're not in the way. So
Yeah. I saw another heat later in the event, or a couple of heats, and I was watching that to see what happens. And a surfer without in priority, like happened about three times, were always sitting in underneath
yeah,
because I guess there's no use sitting on the other side of them because you're going to miss out. If you don't have the priority, you're trying to sit in underneath to get a scraps and get the insiders, while the two with priorities, they're waiting for the good one.
but then you can try and sit outside them and sell them on a wave, but a bit like
Like
I
Jack did in
was
Bells.
going to say, a bit like Jacob Bells, because the interference on Jacob Bells, I think, is less of an interference than what Jacob done, if in my opinion. But
Okay, so
um,
more interesting. What did you think about what happened after?
yeah, so quite mental, really. But also, um, from what I understand, Jacob and Yago had almost like moved it to one side, and then this weird coach guy started to get involved. And Jacob's not a small guy, like, and then again, finding out from the Ain't That Swell podcast, he was rolling with like this Australian like national champion boxer in his corner,
Yeah, Danny
um,
Green.
Danny Green. So yeah, bit pretty wild, pretty like stupid. But I also do appreciate that the next day they got together, they had a drink and they sorted it out and they've put something online about it and stuff like that. Because
Just don't know why other people have to get
I
involved.
know
It's just such a wank.
it is, I completely agree. Especially when they're trying to like put it to one side. He obviously would at that point he wouldn't have had a clue what Yago and Jacob had spoken about in the water either. And then he just starts to chirp in. It's like he deserved a little chin check, to be fair. Someone should have given him a little slap, but um, it wouldn't have been worth it. So
I was thinking that I reckon that would have been a hard morning for Jacob to wake up the next day because he's already been through the ringer by not requalifying. Then they've given him a chance there, and honestly, he's the one that's coming out not looking as good on in this. No matter how you look at it, Yago's world champ. He's got a pretty good rep. Um, I just reckon he came out not looking as good, and it's a pity. And I'm sure he knows this. I saw him jump in on on a stab post, which I hardly ever look at, but I wanted to have a look at what was going on with that. And he actually jumped in and made a couple of comments on the stab post, saying, defending himself, saying, "Hey, he paddled straight over to me." and then said something else like that the Stab article was full of shit. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's
He
cool.
said,
That's good on him.
I know I'm stoking the fire, but here's more of what you want," which is true because
Yeah.
all the commenters on there, they just love it, don't they? They want someone to say something so they can just put their two bob in.
I also prefer it that they don't like, yeah, I agree. And I preferred it him doing that versus that super clean media trained kind of like, um, sometimes you just want someone to be pretty raw and honest and true kind of thing. So,
Or the famous no comment, which is politically better off for you saying nothing, huh?
yeah, it is.
But it's also pretty boring too, isn't it?
But also, don't you think it's pretty like, so what annoyed me, and this isn't the first time this has happened, is apparently Jacob got the threat of wait until you come to Brazil and see what happens to you, right? It's also,
Which
it's
is
like,
pretty heavy because he's got to go there this year for
yeah, I
the
mean, it's
challenge.
so heavy. And I just think like Brazil gets this like, it's got a little bit of a rep like around the world of being like the surfers being super aggy and the surfers being like a bit like that guy who what did he do? He's like started punching on those people in Bali, the girls in Bali and stuff like that. He was
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Brazilian.
Griff got told online he couldn't
Yeah,
go there the
Griff
other
got
year,
told
wasn't it?
Ethan
And Ethan as well.
and Ethan. And like you're like, wait, what like it's almost like it gives me this thing about like football where you go to an away game and like it's like oh wait until you
Hooligan.
come to our ground and like throw like like you see European teams where they get like racially abused in stadiums and stuff and it's like disgusting and I'm just like who are you to throw a threat out like wait until you come to my country like to be fair if you're going to do something and you want to do it then don't wait until you're back in your own country like
Some
you're
of that
there
makes the rest of it makes all the rest of his other surfing brethren look bad as well.
yeah like
I mean, the same sort of thing used to happen with Hawaii a lot as well. Who's your, if you can get this out on Friday, it'd be pretty sick, Matt.
I'll
I'm putting
probably get
pressure
that
on him
before
listeners. Who's your pick then? We're into the quarters. It's been, it's not my favorite comp again because I only got one good day and it's kind of been hard to get a feel on who you
have you had a
feeling.
look at have you had a look at the forecast I haven't so do you know if
It
it's
looks
going to
like
be
Saturday's going to be good. 8 to
okay
10 foot
right if it's going to be
clean
good
wind.
I'm going to go with Caroline and oh fuck, I don't want to say Ethan because I almost like don't want to like jinx on him. So I'm gonna go Caroline or Crosby. Well, Caroline
All
and
right. Well, I'm
Crosby.
going to jinx him because I want him to win, but it's only my heart saying it. So I'm going to say Ethan, and I'm going to pull this one out of the bag for you. Katie,
Okay, I like it.
who
She
she
took
looked
all lines.
unreal.
She looked
She
real good.
she she looked real good. And here's an interesting one for you. Gabby Bryan, who's good and everything, I'm just not feeling it so much. She's just a big power hack and only that. Where like when Kelly was winning world titles, there was a couple of crew coming through, Pancho, Dan Ross and everything. They never got scored for big power hacks. And I love a good big power hack. But I'm wondering if she doesn't lack a little bit of variety. And I just
Yeah,
think the fact I think Katie, if it's maybe a J Bay wave where she doesn't have as much power, but this, which is really powerful, the way she's got timing,
yeah. And she draws
she
completely
went.
different lines.
Yeah, I saw her two waves and she went straight back to being maybe one of my favorite
Oh,
female
I think she's
surfers ever to
incredible.
watch. Yeah, yeah. So and I love her. I love her persona. Huh?
Me too.
Like there was,
Yeah.
she did a wave of herself where she said, "This is this is me surfing. The, wow, here's me surfing Margaret." I thought it was. She did this epic comment like
Yeah.
on her Instagram thing. Have a look, and there,
She's
that's
self-deprecating in a fun way. She's
yeah, yeah.
cool. Like
And Griff goes, "Oh, what a comment!" I could just feel it coming because he couldn't think of it. Anyway,
but
anyway,
yeah,
so
I'm going to go Crosby and Caroline. Um, but
they're pretty good picks.
my heart wants Ethan to win.
How do you think it's looking for the year then? Hey, like once again, four Brazilians in the quarters. Sammy Pupo's ripping. Italo's looking like he wants world title. He's looking great. Gabby's looking good. Yago's looking great. I think it was a good comeback there from the Aussies. I was a bit gutted that Jolie Vaughan beat Liam, but I'm happy for Jolie Vaughan. He's there in the quarters.
And happy for Liam.
I reckon he's a real underdog there. I can't see him beating um, uh, Sammy. I think he's got, but I'd love to see it. Love to see
Is
Joel win it. That'd
is
be out of
Conor
the
O'Leary
box.
still in it? Because Conor looked
Nah,
really
nah.
good.
Yeah,
Oh, did he?
he looked
He got
like
it.
I reckon he's got the best backhand on tour still. I reckon his backhand is better than Gabe and
Yeah,
Italo, but he just can't. He's just not as consistent as those guys, and probably doesn't have the same amount of bag of tricks. Maybe.
yeah, yeah. Weirdly, for the first time in a long time, the Brazilians are like doing well, but they're not doing anything like crazy. Normally, it's just like one of them's doing something crazy every event, and that's what like you're talking about, like backflips or like free airs on a wave or whatever. But they actually just look a little bit more like, and I think this is to do with Adriano. They just look a little bit more
Nada.
smart, yeah, like heat
I
smart.
guess the conditions haven't played into it too. It's been big and bumpy in both
True.
events.
Yeah.
Hey, before we run out of time, what about the two letdowns of the season so far? And will this continue? Steph and Toledo. They're
Well,
struggling.
weird. I didn't think he was going to say Toledo.
Well, he's struggling. He's not getting through heats, even though he's surfing all right.
Nor was Jack Robinson.
Neither's Jack, which I was going to get to as well. Mid-competition jewelry launch. Uh, Instagram jewelry launch with Julia and that they like concentrate on surfing, Jackie.
Well, I
You
was going to
really
talk about
need
that
that extra bit of bucks.
because we've watched the John John um series, they are like parts of it, and we watched and heard him say like on the Stab interview, the reason he didn't do the tour this year was because of how much of a commitment it is and how much he literally puts his whole life into the world tour and trying to be world champ. My personal opinion is John John wouldn't be doing mid-season, mid-event jewelry,
Mid-event,
mid-event,
jewelry.
sorry, jewelry launches.
We're gonna
And
come back to this one this season. This is going to be our little catchphrase. Mid-event jewelry launch.
yeah, it doesn't quite
Like,
it doesn't
like
quite add up like to being 100% fully like John John talks about how he would have to put himself first over his wife and his child, blah blah blah, and other bits, let alone a jewelry collaboration that
And also, he doesn't care about that, John Joe, and he's got the money, but Jack's got the
yeah,
money too, so he should
yeah.
not be worried about that either. Huh?
No, and I just think it's a little bit weird. It just to me, if I were like when I look at it, I'm like zero distraction, zero anything else, like full focus on being world champ. Um,
Kelly always had one sticker on his board, man, for
yeah,
like that first 15 years, which was Quicksilver. It was pretty funny because Belly, I saw him at the cafe and I said something about that to him about Jack, and he went, "Well, yeah, yeah, great, making money." And I was saying, I was so not surprised because Leo's got like 6,000 stickers most of the time as well and doing all this stuff, but he's not winning world titles, and neither is Jack. And
and
Kelly was with one sticker, and John John did too, with a couple of sponsors, low key in like barefoot shoes, unreal sponsor.
but also talking about because this is what I was when I was thinking about it, and you say about making money, right? How much money would Kolohe Andino trade for a world title? He was one of the highest paid, right? You know, like he was with Target, he was with
Yep.
Nike,
Yep.
then Hurley, blah blah blah. I reckon, I tell you right now, I reckon he would scrap quite a lot of that to say, I'm a world champ.
Yeah, I know I kind of, and most people and probably will say that at my funeral, which let's hope it's not for another 50 years, that I was misguided because I'm not um, pursuing a life. Well, I'm not pursuing a life of money. I mean, they've got a lot more talent than I have in different things, and not just me, like other people, a lot of us out there who've decided, okay, well, I don't need that. I'm not going to sell my soul or whatever. And you got famous people doing it as well. You got actors doing it, like in any sort of field. Uh, but I just kind of can't see how that matches, like we said, the Zen yogi image, and it doesn't seem to be. So,
Yeah.
hey, we'll see. I'd like to see him come back. Snapper's knocking on the door, but Snapper's just an event for everyone. Apart from the fact that the 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 rookies, man, it has a rookie even got through to the quarters yet?
Uh,
No, no chance.
Technically, not a rookie. Obviously, Liam's done okay this event from the qualifying class. Um,
Qualifying class round one,
and
no one's got past round three, have
uh,
they?
Sammy Pupo.
Is he in round one? No.
Uh, no, sorry, no.
No, it wasn't. So there you go. Wash your mouth out with soap. But that's all right. We'll see. Tia Zabrovsk and Cowley still haven't won a heat, and they won the Challenger. So it just shows how
Yeah,
hard the World Tour is.
for sure. But yeah, hopefully the waves show up and we can have it ending in proper Margaret River waves because that's what we've all picked our fantasy teams and stuff for. And yeah, hopefully there's no mid-event jewelry launch from Ethan or Caroline or Katie or Crosby because we've picked them.
You never know.
Um,
There's still a couple of days left that they can work out a launch.
and we've got 2 minutes left, and I want to mention a parcel I got today because it's sick as. But I got some Ritual Vision sunglasses,
Oh,
and
sick,
I
bro.
don't know if
Dawson, put
anyone's
them on.
checked out. Look, like they come in a little case. I haven't even
Look, I've
opened
got
them yet.
come forward. Come
Um,
forward. Thanks for the French medical system.
oh,
Come forward,
nice.
bro.
But Ritual Vision, like just looking at their like the fact that they have old school surf clips on their. Look at these
Put
bad.
them on.
They've got a little sticker on, but boy,
It's all right. You're looking killer.
little
You better have
nice
a
little.
word to old Ritual Vision for the Dazza.
Yeah, well,
Like the
for
cross.
sure.
That looks pretty
There
cool.
is some Ritual Vision for Daza coming.
Hey, can I throw out? We've got a minute 30. Can I throw out a back in the day old boy, crusty local 30 secondary?
Yeah,
1.5 foot and offshore, sloping little lame rights. And I've gone out anyway, like a few of the crew from the surf house were out there. And I paddle, I'm on a wave. Like, I'm not telling, like, I've only had one wave. I'm out there sitting by myself. I'm on the wave going along, and this older dude, I kind of know him, but don't know him. He comes past the surf shop a bunch of times. He's a little bit weird, huh? And he's just paddling while I'm standing up going, and he's looking back and he's paddling. And I just went, but like he's just kept paddling. He didn't catch it. But like, see someone
just
on a wave,
fuck off.
don't paddle. Just let
Yeah,
him go.
I had this. I literally
Because
had the
it's
same.
Donald Trump. If it's Donald Trump, drop in on him. Shh, no politics on this show. Sorry.
I had that the same thing that happened to me Bank Holiday Monday the other week, and luckily I was in a good mood because I went paddled for this wave and it was a right, and I caught it, and this guy saw me paddling, saw me pop up, carried on paddling, then proceeded to jump up and try and go left and nearly hit my board, one of my favorite boards. Luckily, I didn't kick off because it was Bank Holiday Monday. But yeah, just
Bank
don't do it.
holiday Monday. Listen, or you know what? Someone's on a wave. Don't paddle. Just
Leave
go.
it.